Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video, and yeah, I guess I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Jacqueline. I'm so excited to finally be making this video. When I tell you guys, I've been trying to make this video since probably like 10 this morning. It is, oh my gosh, I don't even know what time it is. I think it's like 6 or something, but the only reason I'm finally getting around to it is because my boyfriend just got, home from work, and he has the baby now. It's, I have a newborn. I think you can see him back here. I have like these little pictures and stuff of him. Yeah, so my first video that I'm doing, I'm gonna talk about my labor and delivery experience. And the reason I'm filming this video is just because when I was pregnant, these are the type of videos that I used to watch. So yeah, I thought maybe it might be a little interesting. Let's start with my due date. My due date was June 6th. I didn't have him until June 7th. So basically I went Thursday. It was a Thursday. It was like June 4th. And my doctor was supposed to strip my membranes to start, some contractions going and stuff. But, when I did go, I was not dilated at all. So yeah, so I told her, if you could please just schedule me, if you could put me like on the schedule to get induced, because I don't want to wait. Like, I don't want to wait anymore. Like, I just want to have this baby. And the reason I said that I wish I would have waited is just, because, well, as I tell the story, you'll realize why I wish I would have waited, just to see if, my body would have naturally went into labor or whatever. But anyways, so she was like, okay, I'll put you on the schedule. And that was on Thursday. Then by Friday, I got a call. And then they were like, hey, we're going to put you on schedule for Sunday, this Sunday, if you can come in at 7:30. And I was like, okay, perfect. So Saturday night, I couldn't sleep at all. I don't even think I slept like 10 minutes. I was so freaking nervous. And even though it wasn't until like the next evening, like I was just so nervous. I don't know. And so by like, I want to say by like 5 or 4 o'clock, like Sunday evening, I stopped eating. I was like, I'm not trying to have an accident during labor. Like, I'm just not going to eat. Like, I was just already ready. I had my bags ready. I had everything ready for like 2 months even before, like knowing my day that I was going to get induced. I was already ready. And so, whatever, like around like 6 o'clock that evening, they gave me a call and they're like, hey, we don't have any rooms available. We're not gonna be able to, let you come tonight. Is it okay if you come tomorrow morning at 7? And I was just like, yeah, that's fine. Which is perfect, because I feel like I was in such a bad like headspace. Like if I would have went on Sunday, like I don't think I think things would have went like a lot worse. Not that they went horrible, but like I feel like things would have not, I wouldn't have been as strong and determined, I think, because I feel like my nerves would have got the best. That Sunday, I was so freaking tired because I hadn't slept the night before that. I actually did sleep. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning the next morning, so it was Monday. And I was supposed to be in there at 7, like they said. So around 6 o'clock, they give me a call and they're like, hey, can you actually come at 8:30? And I was just like, yeah, whatever, that's fine, At least they weren't gonna schedule another day. So I was just like, yeah, that's fine. So, I was taking a shower, getting ready. Like I said, I didn't eat again because I was scared to, have an accident while in delivery. So I just had a cup of coffee, and then I got there, and I got checked in and everything. And it wasn't until like 10 my timeline is going to be a little bit off. Like, I don't know exactly each time. I'm not going to be punctual with, like, everything, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of guessing, like, oh, I'm around this time this happened, around this time this happened. So, yeah. Anyways, so what I do know is at 10:30 is they gave me the little tablets, and I honestly didn't think they were gonna do anything. I was like, whatever, you know, they're probably gonna have to do the Pitocin to really get the contractions going. Like, I just really wasn't expecting anything from those little tablets. But let me tell you, 30 minutes later, it was 11. I remember because the nurses were like, oh, have you had anything to eat? And I was just like, no. And then they're like, oh my gosh, why not? You know, you're going to be in here for a while. Like, you're going to be hungry, and, you know, the contractions are more uncomfortable, you know, when you're hungry, because you're hungry, you know, on top of, like, the contractions, you're hungry. And so I was just like, oh, well, I don't know. I didn't know what to say. And I was just like, oh. And then they're like, oh, we're going to ask your doctor if we can put in a food order for you. And I was just like, okay. You know, even though the whole time, like, in my head, I was just like, oh, well, I don't want to eat, like, before, because I'm not trying to have, like, an accident, like, during my delivery. But for some reason, like, since they were like, oh, you should eat, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to eat. So I ordered a flatbread. And I remember it was 11 because that's when they were telling me, and I was just like, okay. So then I had my boyfriend go, you know, get the flatbread for me, and then I was already feeling, well, contractions. They're considered contractions, but they just felt like period cramps. So when the cramps started, I was just like, oh, okay, like, these aren't bad or whatever. And so the nurses kept coming in, and they're like, you know, your contractions are every, like, 3 minutes. Like, this is active labor or whatever. Like, what's your pain on, you know, 1 to 10? And I was just like, 1. You know, like, I literally didn't feel anything. Like, I could feel it, you know, like, I'm not gonna say I couldn't feel anything, but I could feel my stomach tightening. But it didn't, you know, it didn't cause me any pain. So I didn't feel uncomfortable or anything. And I was just like, oh, okay, like a 1. And they're like, okay, like, you know, they were super nice. They would come like every 10 minutes to check on me. They were so sweet. Like, I had 2 nurses at the beginning. And so then, the little tablets that they gave me, it was supposed to be every 4 hours. So then 2:30, they came in and they were like, oh, we're not going to give you this dose because your contractions are, you know, very close together, but you're not dilating. Just from 2:30 until the shift change, which happens usually like around 7, I was just chilling. Like, I remember I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, I was literally just, I don't know, I was just laying there. I did have contractions the whole time from 11 to, like, you know, like I'm saying right now, until 7. And they were getting a little stronger. And so then around 8 o'clock is when the other nurse came, and she introduced herself, and she was like, oh, sorry, I hadn't had time to come in here. I'm gonna be your nurse tonight. And I remember that's when the contractions are starting to get heavier, or not heavier, more painful, because I do remember when she came in, I was walking around, and when she came in, I was sitting like on a little couch, because you have a little couch there, so your spouse or whoever's with you, you know, they can lay there. And I remember I was sitting on the couch, and she was like talking to me, and I just couldn't talk, because like, I feel like while you're having a contraction, you can't really like talk, like you can't make out a sentence, or I can't anyways, I couldn't. So she was just like introducing herself and telling me, you know, I'm gonna be your nurse for tonight. My name is this, you can call me if you need anything, you know, your button's over there, and blah blah or whatever. And I was just like, okay. And so she left, and then like probably like 2 minutes later or something, it was literally like as soon as she left, she came back with the doctors. And so the doctors, they were like, hey, we're going to put a cervical balloon catheter in you, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable, but this is to, you know, soften your cervix, and it's gonna, you know, open your cervix up to 5 centimeters, and then when you get to 5 centimeters, it's gonna fall out by itself. And it had like a string, and it was these 2 silicone balloons, and I didn't even look at it when they put it in me because I was in the middle of a contraction. So I just nodded my head, and I was just like, okay, you know. And so then since I was in the middle of a contraction while they were putting it in, I honestly can't tell you if it was uncomfortable or not, because I was already uncomfortable. From 8 and on, I started getting really bad contractions, like really, really bad. And I think it was that balloon catheter thing, like that thing worked really good. Like, oh my gosh. Around 2 in the morning, I was like, you know, I was ready to tap out. I was ready to get the epidural. Like, I don't know. And so then I looked at my boyfriend and I was like, please, you know, can you ask if there's any other pain relief that they can give me besides the epidural? Because I was already bouncing on that ball. You know, they have you bounce on that ball, and then they tell you to walk and, you know, stuff like that. I was doing everything that I could, but I just couldn't. Like, oh my gosh, I was in so much pain. And so the nurse was like, yeah, we can put something in her IV. And so then I was like, oh my God, thank you, Lord. Like, I was so happy. And so I was like, okay, well, let me go pee before they give me whatever it is they're gonna give me. Because what if I can't, like, you know, what if I'm not allowed to stand up after, or, you know, whatever. So I went to go pee, and I hadn't even sat down in the toilet yet. And I was barely about to, you know, relax and pee. And then I felt something come out. They were full of blood. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I was like, babe, the balloons fell out. Call the nurse. He calls the nurse, and then the nurse is like, okay, good, this is great, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, yeah. I was like, the medicine, you know, like, you know, weren't you gonna bring me some medicine? And then she was like, oh no, we can't do it anymore. And I was like, what? Literally, my voice cracked. Like, I was just like, what? And then she's like, no, we can't do it anymore. And I didn't even think to ask why. I don't know why I didn't ask. I was just heartbroken, literally. Like, I felt like my heart was being broken that moment. And so then I was just like, okay. And so then I was just wanted to cry so bad, but I was in so much pain, I couldn't even cry. And also I remember my mom was like, don't cry because it's just gonna make it worse. But I was just like, okay, like, I'm not gonna cry because it's true. Like, what's the point of crying? Like, it's just, I don't know. So then I was just doing my breathing exercises. And also because when you get a contraction, they tell you, you know, like, don't push with the contraction. You have to breathe with the contraction. So, like, every time I got a contraction, sometimes they were so bad, like, I accidentally would push because I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I could feel it all the way, like, throughout my whole stomach. Like, I could feel it in my butt. Like, I felt like I had to poop, right? So then I told my nurse, I was like, I have to poop. Or I told her I have to use the bathroom. And then she's like, oh, go ahead. And she's like, pee or poop? And I was like, poop. And she's like, no, you don't have to poop. And I was just like, I do. I have to poop. Like, I knew I had to poop. And so the reason I brought this part up is because I remember my sister told me, whenever you're about to push, or you, like, you know when you're gonna push, you feel this crazy amount of pressure. It feels like you have to take the biggest shit of your life That's what it feels like. And in that moment, I didn't feel that. Like, I didn't feel like pressure. I didn't feel like I had to take the biggest shit of my life. I literally just felt like I had to poop, like just a normal poop. Why? Why, you may ask? Because of my dumbass ate the fucking flatbread, right? The flatbread. I don't know why I ate that flatbread. I had told myself I wasn't gonna eat because for the same reason I didn't want to have an accident while I was in labor. But whatever. She didn't let me get up because, you know, they have you connected because they're monitoring, oh my God, I can't say that word. Monitoring, whatever, your contractions and the baby's heartbeat. So they have these little bands on you, on your stomach. And so every time you have to go to the bathroom, they have to disconnect you, and it's a whole hassle. So I just looked at my boyfriend and I was like, I have to poop. Like, I have to poop. And so then whatever, the next contraction came, and guess what? I pooped. And it was very embarrassing in the moment, because, I mean, I don't think anyone wants to go through that. I mean, it's really embarrassing because, hello, you just used the bathroom on the bed, you know? But there's nothing I could do about it, so it just happened. Like, literally, it came out with a contraction. I wasn't even, I don't know. It just happened. So then, I pooped, and the nurse came, and she was like, oh, it's okay, it happens all the time, don't worry, and all this stuff. And I feel like if I wasn't in so much pain, I would have cried of embarrassment, but I couldn't even cry. Like I said, I was in too much pain to even cry. And I was just like, I'm sorry. And she was like, no, it's okay. And I was just like, whatever, you hate me. Anyway, so then the doctor came in and she checked me to see if I was dilated more. And at that point, I was like 8 centimeters dilated. And so then they gave me this little ball. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one you put in between your legs. God, what is it called? I forgot, but it's this ball thing. I feel like it's at the tip of my tongue, but whatever. They give you this ball so it could just help open, you know? And so then they checked me again around 3:30. That's when I was 8 centimeters dilated. And she was like, you know, have it for another 45 minutes. So I was like, okay. So then around 4, I was so miserable. So miserable. Like I said, I hadn't got the epidural or nothing, you know, I was dying. And I just kept telling myself, you know, this is going to be over soon. Then they check me and then they're like, you're 10 centimeters dilated. And I was like, yes, you know, yes, I don't know. I got so happy because I was like, okay, it's time for me to push. It's go time. But like I said, I never felt that pressure. I never felt the pressure to push. I never felt like I was going to take the biggest shot in my life. It just didn't happen for me, you know? So then I was just waiting, you know, like, because they were like, do you feel the pressure? Do you feel pressure? And they're like, do you want to push? And I was just like, yes, I want to push. But it wasn't because I had to push. I just wanted to push, you know? Because I was in so much pain. I was like, get this baby out of me. I pushed for 45 minutes and nothing. And let me tell you why. And let me tell you, this is why I should have waited at least 1 more week to see if I naturally went into labor, because my baby never dropped. He never dropped. I never crowned. Like, when the baby's head is like there, like literally there. Oh wait, and when I was 10 centimeters dilated, they broke my water. Yeah, was that when they broke my water? Yeah. I don't remember. When did they break my water?
Right after the catheter fell.
When I was 5 centimeters dilated, that's when they broke my water. And they gave me a dose of those little tablet things. I do remember that. And then from that point forward, I was just dying. I was dying, literally dying. Then, like I said, I pushed for 45 minutes, nothing happened. The doctor left, you know, she was like, you're gonna have to wait. The baby's not dropping, like he's not ready to come out or whatever. Like I never crowned, like I said, his head was never there. Because supposedly, or they say, you know, when you're crowning, you can literally touch down there and feel your baby's head. That never happened. So, I was just, you know, toughing it out. I was just like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna have to wait. Like, there's nothing I can do. I wanted to die. I literally kept telling my boyfriend, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I couldn't do it. With every contraction, I would just, like, moan out of pain so loud. Like, oh my gosh, it was horrible. At 6 o'clock, that's when it was go time. Like, the doctor came in, like, I guess it was just go time, and they're like, you know, you're gonna push with everything in you, like, you're gonna just push. And so oh my god, it gives me like chills thinking about it, because it was just such like a moment, you know, because it's just a moment you're not ever gonna forget. You have the nurses like cheering you on, literally. Like, you have this I had my boyfriend holding one of my legs, the other nurse holding the other leg, the doctor in front of me, some other nurses, and they were like cheering me on, like, come on mama, go, 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 go. And I just remember pushing, and then you get no chance to like breathe. Like it's like, you know, they count to 10 and they're like, again, and you're like and then you start pushing again, and then I was just pushing, and then I just remember, I guess I was pushing so hard, like I was so into it, that all of a sudden they're like wrapping a oxygen mask thing around me, and they're like, just breathe, and I was just like, oh, like what happened, you know, like I was just pushing, and apparently mine and the baby's heart rate dropped. I guess I was pushing that hard, like I was really pushing with everything in me, you know? And so then I was just like, you know, and I was just taking some deep breaths, and then they had me on the little oxygen mask for probably like a minute or two, and then back to pushing, and then they're like, oh, you want a mirror, you want to see? And I was like, yes, you know, like I do want to see. Like, obviously, like, since my sister wasn't there to film it, because I did want to have this memory, like I wanted to see him come out of me, but you know, my sister wasn't there to film it. So you want the mirror? And I was like, yes, I do. Like I want to see. And so they were like cheering me on, like they were like, oh my god, the head. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then when they put the mirror down there, I honestly thought like it was like the baby's head was like this big, like already down there, and it was honestly just like a slit, and you could see like his hair. I remember the moment when like he was there, like the nurse grabbed, she's like, you want to feel him? She took my hand down there, and she's like, there's your baby, you're almost there. And I just remember touching his head, and oh my god, I'm getting emotional. Like, ugh, it was just like this moment, like you can't even describe it. Sometimes it's amazing. So then like I remember feeling his head, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to push. And then I pushed maybe like 2 more times after that, and he was out. So I had him at 6:36 in the morning. I did not get the epidural. I did tear, you know, while delivering, and also his shoulder got stuck coming out. So it's called like shoulder dystocia or something like that. So he did have that, but you know, thankfully everything was fine with him. He was born at 6:36 in the morning. I just remember after he came out, like I didn't even cry because I was so exhausted, you know, but I was just so like happy. I couldn't even show it though, because I was so tired. Like I had been awake for more than 24 hours at this point. I just remember they were pressing on my stomach for me to deliver the placenta, And I just remember my stomach felt so sore. I was like, oh my God. But I couldn't even talk. Like, I was just like, whatever. And so then I delivered the placenta, and then she's like, we're gonna put some numbing cream, and we have to do stitches. And I felt every single stitch. That numbing cream did not work. But I was like, whatever, I just had a baby. Like, this is nothing. Like, I felt like the baddest bitch in the whole entire world. Like, I felt invincible. I still do, because I had a baby. Like, it's crazy. He's right over there. He's about to be 2 months. 2 months. And there's so many things that come with being a mom. It's so exhausting. So exhausting. But it's so rewarding. It's the best thing. It's the best feeling. It's the best. I don't know. I love it. He was born at 6:36 in the morning. He weighed 7 pounds and 5 ounces. And he was 20 inches and 3/4. And yeah. Shut up. And I just had my postpartum appointment last week. And you know, my doctor, she was like, so how'd it go? I told her, you know, the whole story. And she was like, oh, your pregnancy must have been intense because you had him fast. For you to be a first-time mom, you had him fast. And I was thinking, fast? It felt like, hell no, it did not feel fast. And then she was like, to be that fast, it had to be intense. And I was like, you're right, girl. It was really intense. It was a very, very intense. Then on top of that, he got stuck on the way out. I was like, Lord Jesus. So that is my labor and delivery experience. If you guys want me to make more videos, I can. I feel like I'm a good storyteller. I include a lot of details. So, and I'm not, you know, embarrassed or shy to go over or to talk about anything, you know. Yeah. So if you guys like this video, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you guys like this video and would like for me to make some more videos, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching.